Hello everyone, welcome to TalentSprint. So in this session of history, we shall discuss the part 2 of Vedic age. So in the part 1, we have discussed the early Vedic period and we have discussed about Rig Veda. We shall discuss about other Vedas as well as the life in the later Vedic period. Moving on to later Vedic age, the timeline is 1000 BC to 500 BC. The early Vedic age is from 1500 BC to 1000 BC. The later Vedic age is from 1000 to 500 BC. So the other three Vedas were written in the Vedic age only, in this Vedic age, that is later Vedic age. In the early Vedic age, Rig Veda was written, the other three Vedas were written in the later Vedic age. Okay, the second Veda is the Yadur Veda. So what is this Yajur Veda? Yajur means worship or sacrifice, and Veda, that is derived from Ved, that is knowledge. So sacrificial knowledge. So we can say sacrificial formulas are mentioned in Yajur Veda. To perform a sacrifice, that is yajna, we need sacrificial formulae. So sacrificial formulae are mentioned in Yajur Veda. Moving on to the third Veda, that is, before that we shall see the Yajur Veda. There are two parts in Yajur Veda. First is white Yajur Veda, it is also called as Shukla Yajur Veda. The next is black Yajur Veda or Krishna Yajur Veda. So why there is two differences? Why there is a difference? So in Shukla Yajur Veda we have the prayers part or the poems part, and we have the prose part in Krishna Yajur Veda. The only Veda to have a distinction or division is Yajur Veda only. It has one poetry part as well as the explanation is mentioned in the prose part. Okay. The third Veda is Sama Veda. So Sama Veda is related to music. So they are sung. These Vedas are generally having hymns, that is prayers in praise of different gods. Generally they have poems. So these poems were sung by different people called Samans. So this Sama Veda has around 1875 verses and they were set to tune. Different poems were set to different tunes, like that. So Sama Veda has the tune knowledge of different poems. The last Veda in the four Vedas is the Atharva Veda. So Atharva Veda consists of the spells and magical formulae, okay, and which will ward off diseases. Clear with this? So it consists of spells and magical formulae, how to remove diseases from the living organisms. So these are mentioned as poems in Atharva Veda. The magical formulae or the spells and magical formulae were mentioned to remove the diseases from living organisms. So these are the four Vedas. The first is Rig Veda, next is Yajur Veda, next is Sama Veda, and next is Atharva Veda. Clear with this? And next is Brahmanas. Generally we have Brahmans. Brahman means priest people. So Brahmanas is different. The second part of a Veda is Brahmanas. So what is this Brahmanas? So Brahmanas are generally the prose explanation of the hymns or poems which are mentioned in the four Vedas. So all the Vedas have prayers, that is poems or hymns, and their explanation generally we call Tatparya or Bhav. So this Tatparya or Bhav is mentioned in Brahmanas, and generally these Brahmanas have stories aligned to them for the explanation. So the different Brahmanas or the famous or important Brahmanas we have in Rig Veda is Aitreya, Kaushitaki. In Yajur Veda we have Kastaka, Kapilastaka, and in Sama Veda we have Panchavisha, Jaiminya, and in Atharva Veda we have Gopata. All these are important Brahmanas. So they are generally the prose explanations of the hymns or prayers or poems which are mentioned in the four Vedas. This is the second part of the Vedas. The third part of the Vedas is Aryankas. Generally Aranya means forest, right? So these were written by the hermits who were living in the forests. So what they contain, they contain the explanation on the discussion about the rituals mentioned in the Vedas. Okay, suppose there is a discussion on the rituals. The discussion have an explanation in the Aryankas. Okay, clear with this? And Aryankas are 7 in number, and they are placed between the Brahmanas and Upanishads. The third part is Aryankas and the fourth part is Upanishads. Hope you are clear with this. And Upanishads is a large part of the Vedas, or the fourth part of Vedas. That's why they are called as Vedanta. Swami Vivekananda is a great preacher of Vedanta. So why Vedanta means, Vedantas explain, or the Upanishads explain what is actually there in the Vedas. Like we have a gist or summary for any chapter, right? So Upanishads are the gist or summary of any Vedas. They explain the philosophy, what that is told in the Vedas. Okay, they tell about the karma, action, samsara, reincarnation, soul, the Atman, moksha, nirvana, and Brahman, the absolute almighty. Everything they'll tell in a simplified manner. Okay, generally we don't understand Sanskrit because we didn't learn Sanskrit. So they'll be simplified into the local language by Upanishads. Right? The important Upanishads are the Chandogya Upanishad, the Mundaka Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishads. Okay, the famous words in our national emblem, Satyameva Jayate, is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. This is a very repeated question in many general studies examination. The words Satyameva Jayate is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. It is also has come in civil service examination and many other examinations of general studies. Recently one question has come, the police system was taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay, so these are some of the important Upanishads we have. Clear with this? So hope you have learned enough things. We shall meet in the next sessions. Thank you so much.